TVS is the company that's provided the independent television service for the south and southeast of England since the 1st of January 1982. What you're about to see is just a sample of our output. Peter Williams, the head of our documentaries department, has produced a string of remarkable films. In one, he unveiled the techniques employed by the doctors who were responsible for the test tube baby explosion.
In the laboratory beside the theatre, Dr. Simon Fishel begins the search for an egg. This is what he's looking for, the human egg.
Yes, so we've got an egg here.
Yes, we've got an egg from that follicle.
John Webster woke me up and held my hand, and he said, "We've got a beautiful egg." And I said, "Have you really?" And he said, "Yes, really." And then I went off to sleep. But I couldn't believe that we even got to that stage.
Inside an incubator for up to 12 hours, the egg is then taken out so that it can be introduced to the husband's sperm. There were 3 eggs in separate dishes in the incubator that day.
What are you doing now? I now have put the sperm in the droplet of culture medium, and I'm giving it a little mix round so the sperm is evenly distributed in the drop. I now take the egg, and now I shall put it into the drop with the sperm.
This is the moment of insemination outside the body.
That's beautiful.
But at what stage should the egg go back into the patient? The fertilized human egg divides to a precise timetable. On the first day, 2 cells. After 36 hours, 4 cells. After 46 hours, 8 cells, the stage at which Louise Brown was implanted. But now it's usually at 4 cells that the Edwards and Steptoe team implant the egg.
Really nice. Beautiful, 4 cells.
Yet only one transfer in 4 is successful. It's at the last hurdle that most of the pregnancies fail.
Right, I can see the embryo beautifully. Now I'm going to withdraw it up into this syringe in a tiny amount of medium and into the catheter. There it is. See how much medium I've got in? Now I've got to dash off to the patient to inject it. Excuse me.
In The Cure, he investigated research that may give hope to patients who've suffered spinal injury.
This is a 3-dimensional picture of a single nerve cell. Suddenly, technology has given us a glimpse of its beauty and a more detailed idea of how complex it will be to rewire a nervous system which is made up of millions of these particles. Imagine more than 10 million of these, disturbed, damaged, dead and dying, which is what happens when the spinal cord is broken. Professor Richard Sidman and his team in Boston have been trying to make order out of this apparent chaos. He's been examining exactly how the peripheral nerve cell of a mouse grows. He's been looking for a way to help the body heal itself. What he's been doing is to make pathways to guide the reluctant nerve cells to their proper targets on the other side of the gap in the nervous system. He's made tubes, or polymers, out of various types of materials, including plastic. He first tried to reconnect cells in the peripheral nervous system of a mouse, and it worked. This historic photograph shows the reconnection of a peripheral nerve. The polymer, or tube, has disappeared, absorbed by the body. Sidman's latest attempts have led him to the optic nerve, and here there are signs that central nervous system fibers can cross the polymer bridges. A cure for paralysis may still be remote, but for Sidman, the result is immensely exciting, an advance that must have relevance to the victims of spinal injury.
I feel that something has happened to them that they didn't ask for, that came out of the blue in most cases, totally changed the direction of that life, and that it is incumbent on all of us as fellow human beings to try to do something serious for them.
To be justified, this work with animals, wherever it's carried out, must have relevance to the human condition.
Yes, I think it may have implications. I think it's certainly at this time it has no applications. And I think it's very important to stress that. I think that it is important not to raise false hopes in people. And it is important for people to understand that these are very complex issues.
And our film Nan Red marked the 40th anniversary of the D-Day landings.
This is the Normandy coast of northern France. Across these sands, 40 years ago, came the liberators. the men of the Allied armies whose long march to Germany began on these beaches. For those who are here at the town of Saint-Aubin on that summer morning in 1944, the day lives on. For men and women, French, German, Canadian and British, June the 6th remains a high point in their lives.
I looked towards the sea. The sea was black, full of ships. I couldn't even count them. I immediately said, well, that is the beginning of the end.
I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. But I'm very pleased that I saw it, and I'm very pleased that I was there.
I think it was probably the most exciting and frightening day I've ever gone through in my life.
Anyone who wasn't there, who didn't see it all, can't possibly know how marvelous it was. It was exactly what we'd all been praying for.
Just some of the programs produced in the south and southeast of England by TVS.